tell you about a translation technique from an article entitled "The Translation Techniques of Subtitle from English into Indonesian in a Movie," a case of literature by 4 authors, Nanda Saputra, Sulistiani, Endang Fatmawati, and also Herman. So this study is aimed to categorize the type of translator technique and the most prevalent translation technique in a movie subtitles, because the phenomena that frequently occur in the movie subtitle is regardless of their disadvantages. So the translator requires appropriate translation technique in order to convey the message in the movie in the subtitle itself. And then this article used the translation technique proposed by Modena and Albin, and then as the result of the research, the researchers found 14 types of translation techniques here, and then there are some dominant translation techniques, and I will tell you about it later. So here is the article, and then we move to the translation technique. Here it is. As you can see, there are 14 translation techniques. The first one is, we frequently hear about the adaptations. The second one is addition or amplification. The third one is the borrowing. 4 is the calque. 5 is compensation. 6 description. 7 discursive creation. 8 established equivalence. 9 generalization. 10 linguistic amplification. 11 linguistic comparison. 12 literal translation. 13 modulation. 14 particularization. 15 reduction. 16 substitution. 17 transposition, and also 18 the variation. So the actual total in the translation techniques proposed by Molina and Albin is actually 18. However, in this article, there are only 14 techniques that can be found. So this article have 200 data that have been analyzed, and then the dominant technique is like this. So the highest frequencies of the translation technique here is the literal translations, which is there are 67 data. So what is the translation technique? It is a technique that we can call a word-by-word translations. The second one is the modulation. There are 52 data. For example, just like the changing the perspective, in the example of this one is I don't think so become saya rasa tidak. And then the third one is also the generalization. There are 26 data. And then the fourth one is linguistic amplification, which is the adding linguistic phrase into the subtitles to make it clear. For example, like the let's go, which means that ayo kita pergi. And then the fifth one is the established equivalence, which has the 9 data. And then the sixth one is the linguistic comprehension, which has 8 data. The 7 is the transposition. The 8 is compensation, and so on and so forth. And then finally, here, for the example itself from the literal translation, word by word, here is the example. I just want to find Gary and bring him home. It's in English, and in Indonesia, aku hanya ingin menemukan Gary dan membawanya pulang. So this case is use the literal translation because it's only changing the word, using the word-by-word translations. So the conclusion is the aim of research to determine some of translation technique, and we can view the 14 different techniques which from the word by word, changing into the phrases, changing into idioms, and how we keep the structures to keep the meaning, and so on and so forth. And then the most common translation is found the literal translation, and we can also find it in everywhere else. And it signifies that the most popular and the most easy translation technique is the literal translations. We don't need to have the more knowledge, or if we know the word, then we can translate it word by word. So, in summary, the study suggests that the adequate translation approaches are required for translating to interpret the messages in a film through the subtitles, which means that from English into Indonesian. Okay, so I think that's all from me, and I'm so sorry if there is a mistake or mispronounce or maybe lack of the information that I tell you. I hope I can explain it more in the next meeting. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See ya.